What if you could create more kindness in the world just by being you? Everyone has the potential to create and receive more kindness. What if kindness is more than being nice and compassionate to others? Have you ever considered what having more kindness for you could create in your life? Get ready to learn how the energy of kindness is integral to reducing stress in your life and how it can assist in healing your body. Now, here is the host of Cultivating Kindness with Karen, facilitator of healing, Karen Leslie.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cultivating Kindness with Karen. And I'm Karen Leslie, your host for the next hour or so. And I'm thrilled you're here with me. I'm thrilled to be able to share more about kindness and bring that whole energy in as, now we are 10 days. It's January 10, 2024. So we're 10 days into our new year. Now, we're in a new year from a calendar perspective. To be honest, we are not in a new year from an energetic perspective or an astrology perspective, but it doesn't really matter. It only may concern you to know the different dates, depending on what it is you might be looking to do. But from a broad perspective, we've started 2024, and for many people, that brings them some form of excitement and things to think about and what they might want to be doing in this, next 12 months. And I would really like to share with you how to look at that and how to be with it from a place of kindness to you, from a place or a space of truly being you and not worrying about all of the other stuff that's floating around the world right now, not worrying about what anyone else in your own family may be doing or how they're looking at the upcoming 12 months. I'm really coming into that space of you and being that kindness towards you and how that's going to show up. And when it shows up, what is it going to bring forward for you? Right? We talk a lot about changing things and trying something new, maybe going somewhere we've never been. We talk about, oh, I don't want this anymore. Often that's in the regards to weight or eating habits or alcohol consumption or things that way that we're thinking, okay, we're going to lessen this aspect of my life. And then there's other areas I want to increase and have more of. And then you've got like a third area where it's like, ooh, I've never experienced this. And you want to bring in that brand new idea, that brand new experience towards yourself. Now you may be thinking, sure, but how does all of this fit with grow up and grow out, right? Kind of a strange title for today's show, but really it's very straightforward. And we're going to really dive into it throughout the show in our different segments. But the whole idea of growing up and growing out is you stepping into you. It really is. Now, I had written in the written notes that go out with the show when it's promoted and shared everywhere before we actually go live today, that when you hear the words grow up, usually we take that as an offense, as an insult. Somebody has said it to us in a way that has meant, well, I'm only hearing the word harm, and that's interesting, but it can be harmful, like we just hurtful. We go into judgment, this whole idea of having to grow up. It's very rare someone says to you, oh, grow up, meaning, please step into something more. Have you ever heard it that way? I highly doubt it, right? Now, we're going to look at growing up today from the perspective of really, the producer says, not at all, right? Me neither. When this whole idea, these words popped into my head for a show, grow up and grow out, I'm like, okay. And what does that mean? And then the floodgates opened. So growing up, because we've often looked at it as an insult or a slight or like anything but positive, I really want you to let that go in this moment. And what if you can hear those two words, grow up, from the perspective of allowing yourself to grow in a way that you wish to grow. You see, when someone says to you, grow up, it's a judgment on their part. They're telling you what to do to match how they want you to be on whatever topic it is that you're speaking about. Grow up is saying, you need to be how I wish you to be. You need to match my opinion about this. Grow up and get a job. Grow up and take responsibility. Grow up and look at things better. However, whatever those words are at the end, it's because they have a judgment about you and they're throwing it on you. And yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's not comfortable and it's not nice and it's not kind. So let's flip those words. What if today, that anytime you hear from here on in the word grow up, you think, yeah, I am going to grow even further into me. I am going to grow up into this vision I have of myself that I haven't yet attained. And boy, do I want to be that. You don't have to say it out loud, but if you just change that energy when someone uses those words towards you, they won't quite understand what's going on. Because when someone says that, oh, grow up, would you? They watch the energy. They see how your body posture will change, or the look in your eyes or on your face will change, or they'll hear the words that come back to them from that statement. And it's all a confirmation to the person who spoke those words that they achieved something that they wanted to achieve. What if you just change that energy? What if you just step into growing up more into who you are? And that could be more of the person that caused that judgmental statement to come to you. That's okay. We all have this, okay, I'm hearing the word sunken. We all have this sunken energy within us that we are keeping from growing, that we are keeping from being shown and seen by the world. And that's done. Okay, that's last year. You don't want to start 2024 with carrying in the energies of 2023 that were not helpful for you, whether you're aware of them or not. Now, the ones you're not aware of, those are going to require some work. And I highly, highly recommend that you do the work and you go and you look and you allow yourself to be vulnerable. You go inside, you check in on that inner self and you nurture it, you love it, you learn all about it. Because the truth is, there is so much of each and every one of us that we have no idea about because we have not allowed it to grow up. We've kept it sunken and hidden, maybe even sulking because it's been so ignored. And that needs to stop. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of astrology here for you from the perspective of tomorrow, January 11, 2024. We have a new moon. And this is a powerful first new moon in 2024. And here is your opportunity to do so much for yourself. This is a moon that is coming in under the sign of Capricorn, which is very grounded, strategy, kind of business oriented, but from a personal perspective, it's also learning you and your inner work. Stepping into power. And we have so many energies and transits and things floating around right now that really, it can make you dizzy. And it might actually even literally, actually be making some of you feel off balance. This is the time to let go of what was stopping you from truly growing up into who you wish to be, who you desire to be right now in these next couple of days. So I encourage you, and we'll talk a little bit more about how to do this, but take the time. Learn who you are and learn who you have hidden away. Learn what doesn't work for you anymore and let it go. May sound easy, It's it's not. That's the short answer. It can be hard to do on your own. It is something I really excel at with my clients, is to help them look at who they are and look at these aspects of themselves that they have really not wanted to look at for whatever the reasons may be, but to nurture and bring them around to be able to look at them in a place of no judgment, no conflict, and then that gift of energy work, so that the cells in their body and the frequencies that I use, that it comes together and it actually becomes comfortable, inspiring, motivating, empowering. All that stuff we've got hidden away, that's how it wants to be experienced. That's how it wants to show itself when you allow it to grow up. Nothing inside you wants to stay sunken within you. When there's parts of you that are sunken away, then it's harder for you to shine your light. It's harder for you to navigate around those dark pools that are inside, and those little booby traps and mines that you have there that are set to explode in whatever way you've programmed them, when you tip them, to remind you that that has to stay hidden away. We have an amazing opportunity here, and how you set things up is going to impact the next 6 to 12 months of this year, potentially the whole year. Now, don't hear that and go into fret or worry or anxiousness. Just do some of the work. Reach out to me or reach out to someone else and get the support you need. And then when you come to the end, and we're in December of 2024, and you look back, you are going to be so proud of you. That is the growing out part. That is the gift of growing up, is being able to grow out. You see, we can't grow out. We can't expand and extend and experience new if we don't grow up. That's step one. Do you have the courage? Do you have the strength? Even a little? Just a drop. That's all you need. That's all you need. And you can step forward into creating and being that person you long to be from this moment forward. And every time we get comfortable with, maybe not. That may not be the actual word that's appropriate right now. But when we go through this process and we go through it again and again, and we kind of get our rhythm with looking inside and get our rhythm with what is required to grow up, we have less hesitation the next time it comes around. You know, I think I've said on some shows before, but one of the teachers that I had many years ago, I think, lamenting and saying, oh, this again, you know? And it was sort of that whole idea of like, I thought I dealt with this. Why is it back again? And she just said, Karen, as long as you have a pulse, girl, you will have something to work on. And boy, was she right. You know, 20 years ago, I was like, no, that can't be true, but it is true. Because as we grow and we grow out, my producer's laughing, we have this ability to experience more. And when we experience more, there's that opportunity to look inside again and see what else is there and waiting to flourish and shine and show itself to us. So then we can grow out again. And every time we do, we enrich our life. We are kinder to ourselves. We are kinder to the world around us. And boy, we can use a lot of this right now. So all of us, okay, let's all grow up and grow out. We need to go to our first break right now. Thank you so much for being here with me on the Inspired Choices Network. I love connecting with you every week. It brings me so much joy and truly excitement and It touches my heart deeply to know that you are actually interested in hearing what I have to share with you and to hear my little stories about, yeah, as long as you got a pulse, you've got something to work on. So don't go away, everyone. We just have a couple of minutes of a couple of things for you to listen to. And when you get back, we're going to look at more of like, okay, what is required of you to be able to grow up and grow out? All right, we'll be right back.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to karen@karenleslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. It's so nice that you're still here with me. Of course. So this whole idea, grow up and grow out, right? So I think in the first segment, you got a good idea of what I was referring to and why this title seemed like a really great one to share with you and how to shift that energy of those words, grow up. And if you've just joined, well, then, by all means, later on when the replay is out, which is very shortly after the live show finishes, you can go and you can get yourself a little bit caught up. So this whole idea of growing up is really like stepping into your maturity. It really is. And if you look in dictionaries or etymologies or things, when you look at what does grow up mean, it really talks about stepping into your maturity. And that's very much what is implied when people say, oh, would you just grow up? They're saying energetically to us that you're being a child, you're not being mature, you're not acting responsibly, or whatever it may be. But that is the energetic energy, that influence of what's coming across to you, is that you're just being so ridiculous right now that I don't even want to have this conversation. Would you just grow up and then we can talk? Whoa, so much judgment. Those are the words that were flying through. So here we are. And now what are we going to do with this, right? We want to shift this energy. You want to grow up in that strength of who you are. So how do you do this? You need to look within, right? As I said in the first segment, you have to look at that inner self. Take the time and look at, what are your beliefs? What are your patterns? What are your habits? What do you do each day? How does your day flow? How does your week flow? Is it the same day in, day out? Maybe a few tasks are a little different. Maybe you get a phone call from somebody that's out of the norm. But generally speaking, is there a rhythm that you are used to and comfortable with in your day? So most of us are going to say, yep. Even if you have a job like mine that changes all the time. I talk to different people all the time. The tasks I'm working on really vary. But the long and the short of it is, my days are really very, very similar. So in order for me to be able to grow up into being more of who I'm choosing to be, to be a more exceptional healer, to be a more exceptional coach and wordsmith, to be more exceptional in any area of my life, a mom, a wife, that requires me to look at what have I got still hidden inside me? What stories am I still carrying with me that are causing a limitation? You see, to grow up, you've got to have strong roots, because as you grow up, think of a tree. So you've got the roots in the ground, you've got your trunk, it's so big, and then you want to grow up more. So your roots have to extend down, reach deeper, grow thicker, have a wider platform around you. And then that trunk of your tree gets stronger so that you can hold more branches, more leaves, more whatever it is, more blossoms. So your strength needs to grow. And as you grow up, you're going to grow out. You're going to reach out further about who you are and what you want to share, what you want to do. In order to have that wider canopy of a beautiful tree, you have to have that strength below. So you need to let go of and get rid of all of those weak points that would prevent you growing stronger. You need to get rid of those, as you will, the saying, Achilles heels, those little things that trigger you. Now, maybe it's a really big thing that triggers you. And if that's the case, then you've got a real notch in that tree that needs to be healed so that that notch in the tree doesn't grow deeper and wider and cause the tree to fall. As you let go of these stories and beliefs and all of these limitations, you gain your strength. And as your strength builds, you're able to reach out and actually grab hold of those new things. You're able to reach out and bring into your life these new aspects and experiences and parts of your personality and feel really good about it and not feel weighed down, not feel overburdened, not feel like, oh my God, I cannot carry one more thing. When we let go of the baggage we're carrying, we stop retelling the same stories that are keeping us as a victim. You become so much lighter. And then you invite in the ability to experience a new story. And it's not one that you need to tell and have it become a story you keep telling all the time. No, this new story is an experience in that moment. And then you choose whether you want to experience again or let it go. You know, one of the stories that I carried for a long time was this whole idea that I needed to be seen as a victim. I needed to be seen as somebody who had tremendous loss. We lost our home, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. And a lot of other things went by the wayside as well as a result. And so I used that story and retold that story and used that as a reason and an excuse and a but with capital letters as to why I couldn't do things, why I wouldn't allow things to come into my life. And it kept me in this place of being the victim and the poor Karen. Every time I would tell it, especially initially, it was like, oh my God, you lost your home. And it was like, yeah. And now it's like, yeah, that happened. And I actually see the gift in it. I see the lesson in it and I see the gift in it. And it's no longer a story that I tell that's a weight. If it comes up, it's an experience and I share something about it with the growth that I got as a result. I healed an Achilles heel or a weakness within myself So no longer is it a trigger. No longer am I carrying the weight of looking to be a victim. It was an experience. And here I am. I'm actually far better and far healthier and happier and everything than I was before that happened. Honest truth. It was one of the catalysts that I had to look at in my healing. Now, I don't want anyone else to have to go through that type of experience in order to heal, but some of you would have already done this. It could happen to somebody. And if it does, I have an experience where I can say, hey, I understand. And this is what I did. Would you like to talk? Having the burden of a story is not helpful. Learning what that is giving you, keeping it in the right perspective, knowing how to change it energetically so that it's not a trigger, that it's not a bomb going off in your world, that's growing up. That's stepping into the maturity of what the experience has brought you and how to live with it now. A story keeps you living in the past. I know a lot of you have heard me say that before. There's no growth living in the past. There's growth when you heal it. And then when you step forward out of it, then you experience growth. Then you experience more of who you truly are. The more you are willing to let go of, the more stamina you will have. The more you can step into trusting who you are, the more that will open up and the greater your growth will be. If you've been told for years you've got to grow up, and you've been told by various different people, then it's going to take some trust in you to truly recognize that those people were speaking from their own place of hurt and judgment. They were demanding of you something that they wanted to see, and they robbed you of the opportunity to actually look at yourself from a space of no judgment to see if there's something that you might like to change. I mean, it's not uncommon for many people when somebody says something like that to them, and then they dig in their heels and they look at them and it's like, not me. And they get in a rebellious state. Another story. And boy, does it keep you stuck, just like the victim story does. There really is no story that doesn't keep you stuck. Every story will keep you stuck, even the ones you love and that are beautiful. If you're married, the story of your wedding day may be keeping you stuck in one way. If you have children, the birth of those children and how you look at that and view that could be keeping you stuck, even though it may be a beautiful and blessed event. You really need to be aware when you are repeating a story all the time, what is behind that? What is it you are actually putting out there? And yes, some of the stories are going to be beautiful, and you need to look at them and understand them. And if you want to continue to carry them with you, by all means do, but just understand why or what is keeping them there at the forefront that is propelling you to keep repeating it. And then if you choose to keep repeating it, wonderful. Just understand it. There's growth. There's maturity. There's strength and trusting of you to look at the reason. It is extraordinarily helpful. It really is. So you might be now thinking, okay, what are the steps? How do I do this? we are going to get into that as when we come back from our next break. We're up to our second one already here today on Cultivating Kindness with Karen. And of course, I'm Karen Leslie, and you can always send me an email, karen@karenleslie.ca. Plus, I am on many, many different social media platforms, so it really is not hard to find me. You can connect with me through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I'm on Twitter. Mostly my shows are on Twitter. I don't put a ton of my own content on there, to be honest, but you can still find me. And then, of course, the podcasts are everywhere, which is such a blessing that we all receive here from the Inspired Choices Network. They're amazing. So reach out, connect. And if you'd like to have a conversation to learn more about how I could be of help to you, I offer everyone a free 30-minute call. You just need to get in touch and we need to book it. That's all it is. And maybe that's a step towards learning more about you and how you can grow up and be this person that you desire to be, and then see all the areas that you can grow out to. Give it some thought. We're going to be right back. Just stay put for a couple of minutes, have a listen, and when we return, we'll carry on our conversation about growing up and growing out. All right, everyone, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It's such a pleasure to be sharing this whole concept of growing up and getting rid of all of that negativity around those words, and then using them to empower yourself, to create more for you, and to create a life as you grow out that gives you so much more joy and happiness and fulfills you in a way that is perfect and right just for you. Not based on anybody else. No, just for you. I use cards, as I often say, oracle cards, when I'm looking at the shows. And when a title comes up, I pull a couple of cards. And each of the cards that I was looking at for this show all talked about trust. And I did speak about trusting you in the last segment. It really is important, to be able to trust who you are, especially when we've hidden it from ourselves and others for any length of time. That can be a bit of a leap, and it can take trust to learn to trust yourself, if that makes sense, right? But who we arrive to be is perfect. Not that you're going to be perfect, but this person is perfect, however he, she, or they show up. When we're following this natural, honest way of being, and we let go of the stories and all of those beliefs that we had come to believe that were ours and were so important. And when we shed all of that, it makes it easier for us to see the truth within us, to see that light that is in us, right? When you can trust you, you can step into allowing you first to see who you are. And then bit by bit, however you choose, you can allow that to come out into view. Allow others to see and experience and witness your growth and your reaching and growing out. And it can be a beautiful experience. It will come, most likely, with some people who go, whoa, what just happened? Who are you? And they may not appreciate who you're becoming, and that's okay. And you may need assistance with that as well, as sometimes we need to also let go of relationships. I don't want to say that that's hard to do. People will believe that that's hard to do. It's a concept that we have, but there'll be bumps and lumps, and there'll be things that we go through, and they'll all be able for you to be able to learn more about the truth of who you are and strengthen your ability to trust you. Right? To trust and then to thrive, that's the foundation of growing up and growing out. To trust and to thrive. This is what we all came here with, that innate energy within us. We arrived fully trusting ourselves, 100%. And then it erodes over time, to the point for some people that it is so deeply hidden, that element of trust, that we actually think we don't even have it anymore. And that is a total lie. All aspects of you that you arrived with are still there. They never went away. It's just how much sludge have you got on top? How sunken are they? So yeah, it might take a little work to dig them out. But the gift of doing that is immense. This whole idea of trusting you. So how do you do that? Well, one of the ways that I work with it is I use meditation. I maybe don't meditate in a traditional sense. I don't know. I mean, I've taken meditation classes, I've gone on a meditation retreat, and I've experienced it in a variety of different ways. And they're all really cool and great. For me, though, meditation is calming my mind. No, it's not. It's first calming my body, then my mind. So that follows. And then it's connecting into my soul, my spirit, my higher power, whatever words you want, divine, divinity, right? So one of the ways that I calm my body is so simple, is you just take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, you don't have to do it auditorily, you can, but you can just exhale quietly. But you see the number 3 in your imagination, and you think the word 3. And you do it 3 times. And with each one, your body calms more and more. Now, all I need to do is actually just close my eyes, take a nice breath, and think 3, see the number, and my body just calms right away. I do this 3 times. It helps me fall asleep very quickly every night. And then if you want to go into the mind, use the number 2. After you've done the 3, breath in, think, and see the number 2 as you exhale. And do that one 3 times. And then you can take it one step further and use the number 1. Same process, 3 times. And it's a wonderful way to settle you. From that space, now you've got choice. You can journal. You can do free writing. You can pull a card if you believe in using tarot or oracle cards. You can call in from the divine and have energies flow to you and through you and receive. You can listen to a guided meditation. and follow along and receive from that. I always suggest set a timer, because people that are busy, which all of us are, they get distracted by looking at and thinking, oh, but I got to do something at 9 a.m. so I can't be too long in this. So set a timer, give the brain that chance, that mind, just to rest and go from there. There is tremendous value as well with looking into self and to being able to grow up with doing work with others and really looking at like belief clearing work and shifting and getting out of the cellular memory, as well as the neural pathways in the brain of those same beliefs being so firmly entrenched. Getting those out is really important and helpful. Remember, the brain, like the mind, it's just a library of thoughts. That's all it is. And it will just give you the thoughts that are most commonly used, like the most read book, and they'll put them at the front. That your mind does not care, has no point of view as to whether this thought is helpful. It's just like, Karen thinks this one a lot, so I'm going to keep giving it to her. Which is why those stories can stay in place, and why these habits and things are so common, repetitive, and there for you all the time. So belief clearing work is super helpful. Trauma work as well. And trauma work and belief clearing work can go hand in hand. Now, sometimes you need to do one before the other. If you're going into trauma work, but you don't really believe you can heal, then you need to look at belief clearing first. Get that out of the way and then move into healing the energy of the trauma that is limiting you on a day-to-day basis. From my perspective, how I work with trauma, I don't have anyone go back into the trauma. I don't have anyone talk about it. I don't hear about it. You don't relive it. To me, that reinforces the story, that reinforces the experience, that reinforces the neural pathway and that body response. But you can think about, how is that experience limiting how I get through my day on a day-to-day basis every day? And from that place, that's where I work the magic with the energy work and how you look at things and getting rid of that entrapment that the energy of the trauma has placed around you. It's really effective, and it is really important to do, right? If you are carrying limitations around with you like that, how are you going to be able to grow up with strength? You may be trying to grow up, but you're going to do so and hit walls and hit barriers, hit extreme fatigue and burnout, because you're adding more onto yourself. You're not letting go and letting drift away that which is causing you so much difficulty. That which is keeping, using the tree analogy again, keeping your roots at a minimal size for support, and notches or weaknesses in the trunk. We really need to have this change. This baggage we carry that we don't even see as being baggage because it's so normal. And everyone we know is carrying baggage. That doesn't mean it's correct. It doesn't mean it's right. All it means is you bought into some conditioning as you were growing up that allows it to still be in place. Right? Remember, the brain, the reticular activating system in our brain, it's going to be like a heat-seeking missile going out there and looking to bring in evidence to you to support whatever the heck it is you believe. That's why those beliefs are so strong, because your mind is constantly reinforcing it. Well, it's time for that to stop. It really is. It is time for that to stop. If you wish to have a life that's full of more, whatever more means to you, then the buck stops with you and me. It was me It was Karen who had to let go of that story of loss. I could still be carrying it now. It would have the same limitations or even more. If that's what I would like to choose, then I can. But I saw how it was stopping me and hurting me and preventing me from becoming the person I wish to be, from becoming the person who's sitting here today. That Karen would not be here on this show. How could I be? I'd be lying to you. I would be out and out lying to you. I experience so much and I work with it and I change it and I grow from it so I can explain it to you. So I can give you hope that if you would like, you can change it too. Think about that a little, right? The person you're seeing here now, or the person you're listening to, whether it's, in the moment of the live show or weeks or years down the road, this is not who I have always been from who the world saw. This is who I've always been inside, but I didn't let her out. I didn't allow myself to grow up and grow out for her to be visible to all of you, and especially to myself. We are at our third break of our show, so we're going to pause for just a couple of minutes again, and when we come back, we're going to wrap all of this up, and we're going to be looking at simplifying this whole concept for you so that it doesn't feel like a large task, that it will feel like something that, yeah, that's cool. I think I'd like to do that too. So stay with us. We're just going to take a couple of minutes for a quick break. You're here with Karen Leslie on Cultivating Kindness with Karen on the Inspired Choices Network. So don't go away, everyone. We'll be right back.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. So I hope you've been enjoying today's show. I really do. And if you have been, then please like and comment wherever you may be listening to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. And, any comments you make, I see them. And I'm happy to respond and start a conversation with you as well. So, share, like all those things. It would be wonderful. Because from your comments, it gives me ideas and insight into other things that I can talk about for you. I mean, truthfully, this show is for you. Yes, a lot of it, as I said before the break, is based on my experiences, what I've done, how I've been able to change things to be a much happier, vibrant, more alive person than I was before. But this is part of my journey, part of my astrology, part of my human design. I have all of these things in here where I'm meant to be a storyteller. I'm meant to be experiencing things and taking concepts and putting them into a simplified way for others to understand them. So it's really cool. And I've come to love it. Getting to that place for yourself to come to love all of these aspects within you. And you don't have to go into astrology and human design or any of these other numerology, which I also love, to figure it out. You can, but all you need to do is be willing to tap into your heart Allow yourself to see your own higher self or soul. Allow yourself to bring in support, to guide you and help you with understanding the parts that may be a little difficult or may be very emotional for you. And from a space of like no judgment. Really, all that comes forward is just information. It's data. It's ones and zeros. They just form different patterns. Now you have the option as to how you would like to look at it. How you would like to change living a life with limited experiences to a life of expansion and new experiences. And this expansion comes from growing up, that growth within you, that ability to become excited about who you actually are, learning new things about you, new things you can do, new areas of interest that, you weren't able or ready to look at before. As I mentioned at the very beginning, we have a new moon tomorrow, and this is a wonderful opportunity for you to sit with pen and paper and be very clear about what you want to take forward, what you would like to establish or have. Whenever you're doing manifestation of any kind, but it's really important when you're working with the lunar cycles, new moons and full moons, is that you don't talk about what you do not want to have. You talk about it in that positive light of what you are creating. And watch your language. It's really, really important. And it all comes down to, right? How committed are you to you? How deep are you willing to go to learn about yourself? It doesn't mean you need to act on it right away. But if you're not aware of it, and I know you've heard me say this before, right? If you're not aware of it, then there's nothing you can do with it. If you keep everything buried and hidden, then truthfully, you'll stay where you're at. And if that's comfortable and where you want to be, then that's 100% cool. But if you're finding that that's not enough or something is changing, then allow yourself to look at it from a different perspective. Allow yourself that gift of going in and seeing what's there. You might be really surprised. You might be giggling. You might find enjoyment and laughter that you didn't know was inside you. How cool is that, right? Are you ready to step in with courage to seeing who's inside you, who you are? I'm going to read this because I have trouble remembering it. You will never know who you are unless you shed who you pretend to be. These are words that came to me just recently, and so that's why I needed to read them, because they're not fully in. When information pops in or is channeled or whatever, it's not always readily available for my memory. Whenever you know who you, let's try this again. You will never know who you are unless you shed who you pretend to be. So important. And the change is beautiful. Now, change. Who? I alluded to it a little earlier that, sometimes when things come up and we want to change, that we may be apprehensive. So guess what? You have help next week. Next week's show is called Change is Hard. And we're going to bust that myth. We're going to look at why you believe that. And then we're going to change it around energetically, just like we changed today, I hope. That would you just grow up energy into grow up and grow out, and the beauty that is there for you with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Karen Leslie returns Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can find Karen at KarenLeslie.ca and follow her on social media. Until next Wednesday, Karen is sending you waves of kindness for a fabulous week. Remember, it's only you who has the power to be and receive the kindness required to change your life.